articles, the sources helped us narrow our focus to the opiate problem and did not offer many solutions. And then, okay, so you talked about this preliminary research, and then you just suddenly jump to law enforcement targeting dealers that seem to be working. And then furthermore, research of primary sources was done through the library database. While scholarly journals aren't really primary resources, those are secondary resources. Okay. What else is going on here? So just make sure that you're being real specific with the terms that you're using, how you're using them, how you're linking your sentences together to build on one another. So here's something too, like, you just want to watch to be sure that you're using like transitionary sentences between topics. Okay, that's enough to think about for that one, that section. Move on to the executive summary. The purpose of the report is to educate the reader on the recent rise of heroin use in Manatee County. We will determine the underlying causes of addiction, the cause of the recent overdose epidemic, the new policies, and if raising awareness will prevent future epidemics. Experts recommend primary prevention is the best solution. You might want to explain what primary prevention is.
Think about what it is.
Define what it is.
Okay.
Okay.
One of the only ways to stop the cycle of addiction is to stop it before it starts. Reaching out to younger crowd is our best hope to prevent initiation and decrease heroin overdoses. Okay.
Wouldn't defining primary prevention be that sentence which is saying one of the only ways to stop cycle of addiction is to stop it before it starts?
Well, you would want to be specific about what is primary prevention. Like, you know, how do you do primary prevention? Does that make sense? So you could say something like, experts recommend primary prevention, the process of making sure people have information to stop them from ever using substances in the first place as the best. Does that make sense?
So combine the two sentences rather than...
Yeah, combine them, or just make sure that you could, or you could say experts recommend primary prevention as the best solution. Primary prevention, period. Primary prevention is the process of stopping addiction before it even starts, or whatever it is, right? Okay. Reaching out to a younger crowd is our best hope to prevent blah, blah, blah. To collect information for the report, we use official websites of the National Institutes of Health and Centers of Control to gain information and understanding of the statistics and disease of addiction. The LC Library database was used to research journal articles and other searches were made for relevant. What are these other searches?
Just looking for different, we have some other articles that I thought we were going to use.
Okay, but if you're going to mention that, you need to be really specific about where you why you did this.
Okay.
Interviews were done with the psychiatric nurse practitioner, EMTs. Is this supposed to be plural EMTs?
Yeah.
The hypothesis. Firefighters. Well, here again, you know, when you're saying, you guys have like a list going, and suddenly you say and other. Well, what is and the other? You want to be really specific about all the information you're including in the report.
Okay. So not generalized, basically.
Yeah. Studies show some people may be more likely to be dependent on. If you start a sentence, studies, or you need to add a citation afterward. you want to prove that you actually read the studies and that you know the studies in order to help and make sure that what was it, that your audience knows that you're educated, that you have the authority to speak on the subject. And so, experiments of addict's brain show significant differences in brain function than in a normal person's brain. Okay. Well, again, we're missing citations here, right? Like, which experiments say this? An interesting fact is that babies can actually be born addicted to opioids if their mother using during pregnancy. Well, why is this interesting?
So do we need citations if we just use our own words and kind of like rephrase or summarize what we have read, or do we need to use a citation to know where we found that research?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Do you want us to like cite everything that we found in our research, or if we verbatim copied what we found in our research?
You
Do you
want
get what I'm saying? Like, what if we rephrase what we have read in our own words? Do we still need to cite it?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Even if it's like a rephrasing or a summary of something that you read out of someone else's article, you need to cite that. It's called paraphrasing.
Okay.
So if you paraphrase someone's work, you can't pawn it off as your own. Okay? And additionally, it shows that the basics of writing with the citations is to show that you're an authority on the subject. So the more citations you use, the more you demonstrate to your reader that you've actually gone to do the research and that you understand what you're trying to say. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So, what I would suggest is that you all go to OWL Purdue. So if you go to OWL Purdue, click on OWL Purdue, it'll bring you to Purdue's English website. It's been, of course, talking about and grammar and all that type of stuff and how to do research. If you go there, it's a really good resource to refresh yourself on using citations and doing research and writing papers. Okay?
Okay.
So more treatment facilities are needed for those who are abusing drugs. Well, according to who? Who says this? Addiction can be an endless cycle and not the initiation of prevention specialists are going to writing. You see, sorry, I don't need to like sign. I'm not signing in this. That you guys actually do a good job. It's just we're kind of seeing the same thing over and over. So in this paragraph we've jumped from studies show that some persons are more likely dependent on opioids, and then at the end of the paragraph we're talking about prevention specialists going to schools. Do you see how this isn't a coherent paragraph? Can I see that?
You kind of have a little bit of an echo going on, so I didn't quite catch the last part of what you said.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do I still have an echo?
No. Better.
Okay. So what I was saying is that first paragraph under your findings heading, it says, I was saying it's not coherent. So if we look at the topic sentence of this paragraph, it starts by talking about how some people may be more likely to become dependent on opioids.
Okay.
Okay? At the end of the paragraph, we're ending this paragraph with prevention specialists are going to schools and providing classes that educate children about drugs. So those topics are not coherent.
Kind of incomplete.
What?
It's kind of incomplete.
You're right.
Like it needs a concluding sentence.
Well, what's incoherent is just you jumped from one topic at the beginning of the paragraph and ended with a completely unrelated topic. Does that make sense?
Well, we found that the studies or whatever, and then we're trying to show that prevention specialists are providing classes to educate about like the studies, I guess. No?
Right.
So like this is what you were writing, so I'm not too sure on the specific.
So what I'm asking is that we could include all this information in the same paragraph, but what's missing out of it is definitely a topic sentence that ties it all together. Does that make sense? So while doing our research, we found these following things, period. The first thing we found was that some people might be dependent on opiates more than others. The second thing we found is whatever. The third thing, and then the fourth thing is that, professionals are going into schools to educate about whatever.
Okay, so
Because of
show a
that,
more general topic thing to be able to show all of it rather than, yes, Felicia, he's lagging for me. Do a more general topic at the beginning, and then that way we can incorporate everything and then have a coding system.
right. Well, what I'm saying is that you're right. That's correct interpretation, Tara. So you need to create topic sentences that tell the reader exactly what's going to be covered in that paragraph.
Okay.
Okay. Avoid using pronouns as much as you can. Just restate the subjects. Okay. So again, in this second paragraph of findings, there's also no citations in the second paragraph.
Okay. So basically, really, we should have a ton of citations pointing or pulling, telling where we pulled the information from.
Right. You need to show the research that you did, and to show the research that you did, you need to use citations. Okay. So I'm sorry, I'm just kind of skipping through and reading this introduction.
Okay.
Something that I would like you to do is show the problem a little bit better, or phrase the problem a little bit better. So if you look at purpose, it says the epidemic of drug overdoses in Manatee County has focused attention on the need for solutions to opioid abuse in this county. I can't speak a lot today. In this community. So in between there, you should show why. Like, why do we need to solve this problem? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if you look at, I think it's chapter 11 in the style book or chapter 10, Williams goes over how to create a problem in your introduction.
Okay, well, I'll have to take a look at the book.
Yeah, so take a look at the book and see if you can write a clear problem to work from. Let's see, as I go through. So our group talked us about people on how we could raise awareness and recent increase. Questions we start below. We were able to contact a psychiatric nurse practitioner. Stayed away from routine. When you're talking about like an aspect of a problem, like I want you to explain what that aspect is a little bit more. We did our research about the underlying causes of the rise of heroin to see if the reason the overdoses are rising is because it being cheap. Okay, so who wrote the scope?
I did.
I'm sorry, who did? Okay. What I would like you to do is work on the clarity of your sentences. So right now when I'm reading through it, it is a little convoluted and it's hard to understand the sentence. So try to make sure that you start with an actor who's doing a action to a particular object. Does that make sense? So if we looked at, let me go back to the scope here. Our group talked with several people about how we can raise awareness of the recent increase in heroin overdose support survivors. The questions we used are below. We were able to contact a psychiatric nurse practitioner and EMT. We stayed away from obtaining information from, well, this should be from, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, okay. This next sentence here goes on too long, and it's kind of strange. Like we focused on the sociology and psychology aspect, and we did our research about the underlying causes and the rise of heroin.
Bless you.
Um,
Bless
to
you.
see if the reason the overdoses are rising is because of it being cheap and an easy, accessible drug of choice to do with friends, or if it is because of an addiction. Do you see what I'm saying? Like it's just too many topics in one sentence.
Can I break it up into two sentences? Because I was trying to focus on the sociology, which is the cheap and easy accessible choice, and then the psychology would be the addiction option. So should I split it up into like two sentences?
Yeah, split it into two different thoughts. Okay? We wanted to focus on whether this drug problem was sociological, meaning that people were using it recreationally with friends, or if there's actually a psychological aspect to addiction, you know, where people are addicted for psychological purposes or reasons, whatever it is, right? So that sentence right there is just really strange. Like this next following sentence is constructed oddly as well. So just write, make sure that you look and make sure that it's clear. So even right here, like our statistics that we have used in this report, just say the statistics came from the CDC. Do you see what I'm saying? It's just much clearer.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, sounds good. So when you have this secondary research, kind of what I'm looking for you to do is synthesize all that research together. Like this should be kind of where you get to the meat of the story, which is where you're going to write more of like a research paper. Don't just tell us, you know, that you went and did this type of stuff. Well, tell us what those articles actually said. You know what I'm saying?
So be more specific and kind of use the articles a little bit more with the secondary research and primary research.
Yeah.
Summarize the article.
Like the secondary research, this should be the meat of like where you talk about your research. And what's here is only 6 lines. You know, right here should be a good page or 2 or 3 where you synthesize all the information that you found from the secondary sources together. Same with the primary research. You should kind of summarize all the stuff that you found in the primary research in there too. Yeah. So I mean, if I would have put this as an F, because what I'm really asking you guys to do is to show and demonstrate that you did secondary research and that you did primary research. As I've read through your, sorry, my cat's crazy.
We lost
As
you
I
for
read
a
through
couple seconds there.
this technical,
We can't hear him. He's on mute.
Yeah, you muted yourself somehow.
Oh,
There you go.
back to normal.
what?
You somehow were muted, so we couldn't hear you.
Am I back?
2 minutes.
Oh. Okay. So what I'm saying is, in the technical report, you guys are missing the demonstration of any research that you did. Okay. So under where it says primary research and secondary research, you should have a good at least 5, 6, 7 paragraphs under each one that shows what that research says.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So I think maybe it was the problem of me framing it as a technical report, but what I was really looking for is for you to demonstrate and show the research. And I think if you look at the example in the book, like in the the Essentials of Technical Communication book, if you look through that example, he has tons of citations, and he's going through all the different research that he's done, right? What I see here is just a very broad overview and some ideas, but no concrete demonstration. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Was it confusing when you guys were going to write it, what I was expecting?
Yes.
Yeah, 'cause
Well, switching back from you in the book, it was kind of hard to follow what outline and what exactly you wanted.
Okay. Well, the outline is kind of up to you to make, right? But some of the things that you need to have in there are definitely demonstrated in the book. Like, you need to make sure that you have shown and demonstrated all the research and how you need to show how and why you're drawing the conclusions that you're drawing. Does that make sense?
So go in depth.
Yes, go very in depth.
Okay.
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 But you got another week to get through it, and what you have here is a really good start. It's just I want you to build on it and show exactly what research was performed, show exactly from what studies did you pull information from. With the interviews from the different people that you interviewed, I want to know what questions did you ask them, what responses did they give?
So the questions are at the bottom of the research tools, no? Are we supposed to put that in the actual
Well,
research?
highlight. You can even highlight the. It's good that you have the questions there, but what are the answers that they gave you? Like, that's what's missing, right?
So should we just put the answers into the primary research and not reiterate the questions in that?
Yeah, but you could say, the questions that we used were framed in order to help us understand the heroin addiction and what we could do and offer as a group or assistant, right? And then you would say, here were some of the answers that were given by the psychiatrist. Here's some of the answers that were given by the EMT. Right? And then like a third or fourth paragraph, you're going to answer, by analyzing these primary responses, what we came to understand was something as a group that we were doing is we're raising awareness with this set of people by doing this specific thing, whatever it is. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Um, so I think the reason why your report's a little short is because, I mean, the directions say it should be 10 to 12 pages, right? What you're missing then is just the specificity of the research.
Okay.
Okay, so that's what I would work on doing, going back in, plugging the research in, synthesizing all the secondary research, writing that as like a normal research report that you can put in, and then showing the primary research that you did, and then summarizing and analyzing all those findings together.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
So throughout, make sure that you are actively using citations. Okay? Show where you got your information from. even if it's paraphrased, it needs to be cited. Make sure that you are starting paragraphs off with topic sentences and that you're relating the information in each paragraph to the topic sentences. Additionally, make sure that in each section you're relating the paragraphs to the particular section that you're writing. Okay. So if you look at the email I sent earlier, I think on like Tuesday or Monday, there were kind of directions for you guys to go back into this document for everyone to look through it and start adding it together just by giving comments on answering the questions that I put in that email. Okay, so that's where I would start. For everyone just to go and start putting comments on like what information needs to be added where, which sentences aren't clear, where you need to add topic sentences, etc. You might go through and start editing it that way, and then going back and adding in the other research. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let me think. So for your visual design, what do you guys think about doing?
We haven't talked about that yet because we haven't been able to conduct our hangout this morning.
Okay. Any ideas?
Well, originally we were going to do like a hashtag and be able to do it like through the internet, so I kind of like the fact that you said like the internet memes or however you say that, and everyone kind of make like an advertisement.
Okay. So you guys could make a series of advertisements, maybe, or memes that travel across Twitter or Facebook with a hashtag. So you might want to think about which audience you want to approach with it. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
So,
I think we're going to focus on the males between 18 and 25 years old.
okay. So if you want to make memes to 18 to 25-year-old men, you might want to think about what 18 to 25-year-old men like. Which, be careful with that, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to put them off, so you don't want to like put like a picture of a drug addict or someone with like a needle in their intravenous vein, right? So you want to think from a witty and creative way how you're going to attract these men's attention. Make sense?
Yeah.
So it could be using a sports figure maybe that a lot of men that age like, or a musician, and reappropriating an image from somewhere and adding some facts to it. You might want to, let me think what else is, man, I'm just like not part of that demographic. I don't even know. But think about, what's the important information that these men need to know, and how are you going to disseminate it visually? Okay? And if you picked an internet meme, think about how you're going to design that meme.
Okay.
And I would, if you're going to do a meme, I would suggest doing a few versus just one. Okay? So, you could use like a Chuck Norris meme. Like Chuck Norris are really funny, right? Are you guys familiar with Chuck Norris memes?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I like Velociraptor memes too. If you can make a Velociraptor. I don't know. Like I don't really participate with memes that much, but I'm sure you guys can come up with something cool and interesting. Was this helpful for you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I think I'm gonna log off here and let you guys discuss what you want to do together as a group for your for editing the document and then creating your visual.
Okay.
So I'll let you guys get to work.
Okay.
And feel free to email me with any questions, okay?
All
All
right.
right.
All right. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Bye, thank
Bye now.
you.
Bye.
Okay.
So in other words, we have a ton of work to do.
I didn't think he wanted an actual research paper. I thought everything should have been summarized. I didn't.
Well, I thought too.
Yeah,
I
that's
have a feeling that's what everyone thought, because, I mean, he sent the email out saying everyone was too vague. So, it's not our fault.
no,
But now
it's
we
not.
have,
I just feel like even the example in the book wasn't that long. Like, you flip a few pages and it was like, I feel like they even summarized, but if
They
he wants
did.
more, we can give him more.
Yeah.
So,
And I just have to point out, because I'm way OCD like this, but I'm like 98% positive it said 8 to 12 pages.
yeah, he did say 8 to 12 pages.
Okay, good.
I checked on that while he was talking. I'm like, wait a minute, let me pull
Everyone's
that
like-
up real quick. Alright, so that covers the technical report part of our Google Hangout, but more about the design deliverable. I mean, it was kind of off the wall for him to ask us right now, and we haven't even had time to talk about it. Do you guys think that that'll work? Because we talked about using a hashtag and creating images anyways. So like the internet memes, is that what you guys want to do for the design?
You know, oh, sorry. I think that's a good idea and everything, but I don't, like, because when I usually think about memes, I think that they're funny, and I don't think heroine's funny. But
Yeah, that's true. I wasn't necessarily going more for the memes, but more for small little advertisements that can be posted like on Instagram or Facebook or anything. But
Yeah.
in regards to what he's saying, a flyer, a poster, a PowerPoint, a website, a series of internet memes, a comic strip, it would.
but if you think about the demographic, 18 to 25, they're not going to be looking at advertisements. Memes possibly,
yeah, you're right.
because 18 to 25-year-old guys, the immaturity level that they have, they won't take that seriously, you know?
Yeah.
I do like the meme idea if we make it like serious and not funny.
Yeah. Well, just to get the point across, you know?
Yeah.
If someone can come up with a
Meme, like you said, like the boss rapper Chuck Norris, and like, did you know heroin, blah blah blah, or something. Like, it doesn't have to be a funny portion.
Okay.
yeah.
Well, that was my only concern, so I'm good with the meme.
Well, we can see if that works out. If not, we can't find something creative enough, then we'll just go to the next best thing.
We could do a picture of like the model before and after drugs. I know that there's like a couple ones, you know, and it's just like it could be like not so hot or something like that. I don't know. Just an idea.
The other
Now,
thing we could do is,
visuals due next Sunday, isn't it?
good question.
Yeah, the visuals due next Sunday.
So we have a week to fix our technical report and a week to come
Yep,
up with
technical
a
report
visual.
next Sunday and the visual. This will be fun.
Yeah.
I mean, the good thing about the technical report is basically we just need to add our research into it. So, I mean, that's pretty easy. We have all the websites and everything at the works cited page, and we just need to be more specific, saying on this page we found out this, on this page we found out that. I mean, that's what I understood, is he just wants to know what exactly we found out from each page, which, yeah, if you want to know that, of course we'll have plenty of paragraphs, because we have a lot of pages that we looked at for the information.
Yeah.
I feel like since we already did the research and the ideas are basically in here, it's not going to take a really, really long time just to elaborate more and add some details.
Yeah.
Okay, so we all just need to put our specifics in there, and then maybe each of us try to come up with one or two memes and then
Yeah, I would say probably one per person.
Now, are you guys gonna go to a generator for that? And then we'll just like send each other what we've created. And then if none of ours look interesting enough or we don't have a few that are good, then we'll move on to our plan B.
yeah, that way, if we each do 2, then we have options. Or if we try to do 2, then we'll have options to pick from, and hopefully we'll have like 3 or 4 we all agree on.
3 and then 8 at the very end.
It was kind of foggy. Sorry, we couldn't hear you.
What?
Okay, well, I can hear you now.
Oh.
Yeah, say that again. What was the last thing you just said, Sarah?
I said probably brainstorm about 2 or 3 for each of us, and then like we'll each pick one final one. That'll be our thing.
Okay.
Do you guys want to do the visual? Have it all due by Thursday or Friday, so that we can move on to the next section with some time. I would say Thursday. That gives us a couple more days if we don't like what we come up with.
Okay.
Yeah.
That works.
Yeah. Either Thursday or Friday for me, because I'm not sure what days I work. So
That's fine.
one of those days. Yeah.
Okay.
Natalie, when do you typically find out your schedule?
I do have it in advance, but sometimes I pick up a shift or drop a shift depending on if the money is good or if we're busy or not. So I am off this Thursday, so I'll probably work on it this Thursday and have it by Thursday evening. But just in case, it may be Friday.
Okay.
But most likely Thursday.
Alrighty.
Alright, so the last portion of the Hangout says to assess the group. And I think everyone's doing good, other than kind of late due dates, I would say. Would be the worst thing for us because
Yeah, pushing everything out to the end.
yeah, pushing everything out to the end, but it's hard to do stuff during the week. I mean, obviously he figured that out because he pushed all the due dates out to Friday rather than Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit hard, but I mean, we've been doing good for what we've been working with, so.
Yeah, us having such diverse schedules is kind of difficult.
Yeah. I agree. But I think, I mean, we've been doing good for the most part, but like we said, like pushing it off to the end of the week, last minute, especially with like technical problems with the Google Hangouts.
Yeah, I'm glad we tried doing it yesterday and found out that we couldn't do it, and then today we did have another option to be able to try and figure out and actually make it work.
Yeah.
Agreed. Well, I don't know what our next hangout is. I'm trying to look that up.
I don't know. We have a next hangout.
We have a Hangout 4 on week 13, so in 2 more weeks.
Okay.
Okay, so we have 2 weeks to figure out another hangout time.
Oh, I see it now.
Actually, 1 week. So not next week, but the following week.
Okay. Did we do everything on the Hangout?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
we,
we talked about the technical report, the visual design, and not confrontation, but talking about assessment of the group. So yeah, I think everything's covered. I completely forgot about the Friday due dates with the ETC chapter, the discussion, and everything with me being sick. So I have to catch up on that. So I might just make today a homework day. I also have a test for Wednesday in my finance class that I haven't even read the chapters yet. So I might go ahead and just start adding comments to the technical report. For the most part, I mean, it's just adding specific research and everything. So there's not much to add, but I don't want to make the comments really, 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 really long. Like he was trying to say to add the comments before you start editing the thing, but if we're just adding what we know about the information, there's no point of doing a comment.
No, I agree with you there.
And before we turn in the second one, I reread everything before I turned mine in and just made, grammatical um, corrections. And if something didn't sound right, I would like either move it around in the paragraph, because you want to make it flow too. So I don't want us to be like jumping around too much, especially us adding into the report at different times. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was mainly just talking about the notes that I got from everything that he was saying. I was trying to jot down stuff as he was going along. I think that with the paragraphs, he said make sure that it's like one idea paragraph, so don't like let the paragraphs go on too long. The first sentence, he's really big on that.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
Use citations.
Yeah. I thought you only use citations if you use word for word. Like if I'm summarizing, that's the whole point of works cited.
Yeah, me too.
That's what I was talking about. I was like, do you really want us to cite something that we've like found and put in our own words? And he's basically paraphrasing, so you got to cite that. And I'm like, in school, we were taught if you like took it from the book verbatim, or like just yeah. So I don't know, whatever.
That's
So
right.
basically,
Let's put a citation at every end of the sentence.
that's what I was going to say, is we should have, I don't know, if we have
It's just
5,000 sentences, we have
when you like
5,000
talk about something,
sentences.
cite it. Talk about something again, cite it again. Talk about something, cite it.
I mean, research paper, you're talking about all of your research. It's going to be a lot of citations, but if that's what he wants, then that's what he's going to get.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you do when you want a good grade. You feed a teacher with what they want.
Yep.
Alright.
All right, so I'm
Okay.
good with what I need to say. Is there anything else for anybody else?
Anything?
No. Velociraptor meme, Chuck Norris. I've never seen this before.
We gotta do one of those because that's one of his favorite memes. So if we could do one of those.
We should probably do that. Okay.
I've seen the Velociraptor. I haven't seen the...
Those ones are usually really witty.
Oh.
That's why he likes those ones.
Gotcha.
I googled it, and there's so many of them. So if you guys ever don't have anything to do, but we're all busy, but Google some of them, and we'll get ideas from them.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. I have a few memes called the starter pack memes or whatever. Have you guys, it's like 3 or 4 pictures and then like a description. Like one says, "Let me talk to your manager," starter pack, and then it's like one of those wedge haircuts and like a minivan and like a big purse. We could do like a starter pack for like drug addict or something. We can just, yeah.
We'll play with it and
Yeah.
see
I'll
what
just,
we ultimately come up with.
okay, cool. If I find any memes or any ideas of memes, I'm just gonna like send it in the Hangout, and then you can tell me if you like the direction that's going.
Okay.
Okay.
What I'll do is I'll go ahead and start a Google Doc called Memes, and then as we find stuff, we can all just copy and paste them on there, and then we can make them off to the side as for thoughts and whatnot.
Good idea.
Yeah. Okay.
Anything else?
Nope, I think we're all good.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you. Glad we got this to work today.
Yes.
I'm sorry I was late on that one.
It only worked because he was part of it, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Natalie a little bit to get in. He was like, "Oh well, I'm not gonna wait for her. I'm just gonna go ahead." And I'm like, "What? Okay."
And then you popped up, and I was like,
It's
hey.
fine. It's totally fine.
I know, the moment she popped up, I was like, I really need him to take a breath because I'm going to hit the live button. And I wanted to get as much as he was going to say as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad everybody got in.
So, after we finish these, does everybody know where to find them, or would it be easier for me to just send you the link?
Just copy and paste the link. It's easier for me to just copy and paste the link. So
Okay.
once you have the link, just send it in Google Hangouts.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I'll do that.
All right.
All right, ladies. Well, it was fun. We'll get it all figured out.
All right.
Bye.
Right.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.